First of all, I would like to thank Fee for that amazing introduction, my sister, Sophia, and Leo for the beautiful music, the Chapel Council, my advisor, Miss Turner, and my parents for being here and supporting me through everything. I'm not the same person I used to be, and that's the most beautiful ache I carry. I think everyone in this audience can say they've changed over these years. We've all experienced it in one way or another. Seniors, think back to your freshman year, how different you looked, how your hobbies have shifted, how your friendships may have changed, and how your goals have transformed. When I look back at who I was freshman year, I see a girl with ginger hair and a more alternative style, a different friend group, someone outgoing, someone who cared deeply about how others perceived her, and someone who was so scared of change. At the start of freshman year, I was comfortable. I liked knowing what my days would look like. I knew I had a table to sit at during meals, someone to walk to practice with, and friends to come back to the dorm and laugh with. There was comfort in the rhythm of my life, in knowing where I belonged. So why would I want anything to change? But what I learned is that change doesn't always ask for permission. Sometimes it happens anyway. Whether you choose it or not, you are left trying to catch up to something you never agreed to. During my freshman year, I didn't choose to change, and that was the hardest part. Really realizing that once things change, you can't go back. The version of yourself you loved only exists in memory, and no matter how much you want it, you will never be able to recreate it the exact same. That's when my fear of change really began. With everything shifting around me, I started to feel unfamiliar with myself. The person I had always been was slowly slipping to someone I didn't fully recognize. And that's the part no one prepares you for. The quiet realization that you're changing on the inside, whether you are ready or not. What scared me the most was the idea of losing parts of myself I'd always held on to. The way I thought, the things I care about, the version of me that felt certain and steady. And that's exactly what happened. My friends would tell me I've changed, and that always felt like the biggest stab in the chest. Because what caused me to change that year, I never asked for it to happen. But it for sure did cause me to lose track, lash out, drop hobbies that I loved, and break relationships I cared so much for. There used to be comfort in knowing who I was, even if I was still figuring things out. So when that shift started, it felt like losing my footing. Like I didn't have anything solid to stand on anymore. But now, standing here as a senior, I can look back and see the thing I feared the most was actually the thing that helped me grow. All of the changes that have happened over these past 4 years have been the biggest blessing in disguise. If you know me, you know I've never been able to handle the senior class graduating, but that change allowed me to step into a new role, to become a mentor for younger students. Friendships, I believe, would last a lifetime, shifted, but that made me more resilient and opened me up to people I can now call my best friends. Times of social rejection have forced momentary self-reflection and realization that I can't control what others think or feel, just the way I show up for myself and others. And the parts of me I resisted becoming turned into something new. What once felt unfamiliar started to feel normal. What once felt uncomfortable slowly became comfortable. Parts of me I thought I had lost weren't gone, they had simply changed shape. And while they didn't come back in the same way, they returned in ways I didn't expect, and eventually in ways I learned to love. I've realized that even the best moments aren't meant to stay the same forever. Not because they weren't good enough, but because they were never meant to be permanent. And still, I think there's something so honest about being afraid of change. It means what you had mattered. It means your life was worth something holding on to. And maybe, even if I'm still fully learning to believe it, change isn't always about losing something that's good. Sometimes, it's the only way to make room for something just as meaningful, even if it looks completely different from what you expected. If you had asked me last year about graduating, I would have probably broken down into your arms. This place became more than just a school. It became a home, a family, and the thought of leaving it felt like leaving a version of myself behind. But this year, something shifted. Now I understand that change wasn't about taking something away from me, it was making space for something new. And while it still feels big and a little uncertain, it also feels right. It's no longer an ending I'm being forced into, it's a step I'm choosing to take. And maybe that's what growing up really is. It's looking at the person you used to be, the one you loved, the one you understood so clearly, and realizing you'll never fully be them again. And instead of trying to hold on, you learn to carry them with you. Not as something that you're grieving, but as something that has built you. Because I'm not the same person I was freshman year, and a part of me still aches for her, the certainty she had, the way she saw the world, and the comfort she lived in. But another part of me is proud of who I've become because of everything that has changed. Graduation feels like standing on the edge of something I can't fully see yet. There's no clear path, no guaranteed version of who I'll be next, and that used to terrify me. But now, I think there's something beautiful in that uncertainty, because it means there's still more of me to discover, more ways to grow, more versions of myself I haven't met yet. So instead of holding on to who I was, I'm learning to step forward into who I'm becoming, even if I don't fully recognize her yet. We are never meant to stay the same. We are meant to outgrow versions of ourselves, to lose and rebuild and change in ways we never expected. Maybe the discomfort, the uncertainty, the ache, that's not something to fear, but something to embrace. Because it means we lived, it means we cared, it means we're still becoming. So, as we prepare to leave this place that has shaped us in more ways than we can explain, I hope we don't try and hold on too tightly to who we used to be. I hope we have the courage to let go, to walk into the uncertainty, to trust that even if we don't know exactly who we're becoming yet, we are growing into someone we will one day be proud of. I think part of growing up is realizing that you can love something so deeply and still be ready to leave. While change is scary, so is staying. Always go with the choice that scares you the most, because that's the one that's going to help you grow. Thank you.